everyone, and welcome to the Lovebird Lane podcast. I am Julianne and I can be found on Ravelry and Instagram as Lovebird Lane. I'm so pleased that you could spend some time with me talking about what I've been working on this week. I have done quite a bit and yes, so I have been doing Vlogmas. Have you been watching my Vlogmas? I don't really know how to do the Vlogmas very well. It's kind of something that I just sit and I talk to you and film little things. I don't know whether it's interesting at all, but I am enjoying doing it. It's fun to upload a video every day, and I've had some lovely comments come through, so some of you are watching it, which is fantastic. If you haven't checked out the Vlogmas, check it out. There's random little bits. I coloured my hair the other day and I filmed that. As you can see, it is very pink. I coloured my hair and that was all included in a podcast. I've made roast potatoes and I've made paneer, and we went out to dinner on Friday, so there's footage of Brighton Jetty and all sorts of things like that. So if you're interested in Adelaide or you know, what I've been cooking and things like that, check out the Vlogmas. It is here on the same channel that you're watching this video. Alright, I've got quite a few things to do and I have a very busy day, so I can't spend too much time on any kind of blathery things. It is a hot day, the air conditioner is going, so hopefully there's not too much noise interaction with the video. I am filming on my brand new camera. I received my new camera. This is the Calan PowerShot G7X and it has autofocus, woohoo! So it does really nice quality video, and hopefully you're seeing that right now. And it also does autofocus, so I can hold things up and you can see them up close. So that is just fantastic. That is what I've wanted all along. And the sound, because last week, if you recall, I said that I had my iPhone up above me in my ring light. Today, this is just audio from the Canon, the PowerShot, because my other camera is a Canon EOS 600D. But yes, this is just the sound through the camera. So we'll see how that goes. I hope it's good. So far, so good on my Vlogmas videos. Hopefully I'm loud enough. The camera is a little bit away from me, but hopefully I'm loud enough that it's picking it up and all is good. So let's stop blathering. All right, I've got quite a few things that I have finished today, and I'm just trying to decide what order I'd like to go in. I think I'll go with the most boring to the most fun. So I'll start with a pair of socks. I haven't got my sock blockers. I can't remember what I did with them. I think they're in the wardrobe that's behind the camera. But yes, I finished these the other night. These are Simon's socks. So this is the, it's kind of not very well lit, but hopefully they're, you can kind of see that. These are the Circus Tonic handmade socks that I have been making for Simon, and I have finished. So I dug these out of his drawer. He's already taken and put them away. I didn't even get a chance to photograph them for Ravelry or anything like that. He already went and put them away. He was quite happy with them. These were nice and stretchy at the top, which is what he was wanting. So yeah, not much really to say about them. The yarn is quite lovely. It's merino bamboo from Circus Tonic Handmade, as I said. It is the Mallee Emu Wren colourway, I believe. So it's speckles, like a bluey grey with speckles of dark blue, light blue, yellow and red. And yeah, they're all done. Just my vanilla socks, Fish Lips Kiss heel. This time I did do a slightly different cuff, which I may have spoken about. I did a 1x1 rib, but I used a cable cast on, an alternate cable cast on that I discovered through my friend Jess, who is the Sweater Collective. She has a tutorial to this on her own YouTube channel, so I'll try and remember to tag that in the show notes or put it up in the little doobly-doo up here. Yes, so this is the alternate cable cast on, which kind of gives a look at the top like, what's it called? A tubular cast on. So it's a little bit like a tubular cast on. I don't know whether we're going to be able to focus on that. There we go. So you can kind of see that there. It's a little bit like a tubular cast on. So yes, pair of socks for Simon. Now that I have them out, I just need to take photos so I can put them up on Ravelry, because I've still got Circus Tonic Handmaid's picture as my main picture on the project on Ravelry, because that was the only picture that I had. So first FO down. The next one is, of course, like I said, I have finished my Calan My Cow. And if you follow me on Instagram, you already know this, you've already seen it, but I have finished it. So it blocked out really lovely. As you all know, I've now already got mohair stuck to my nose. As you all know, this was knit from my own yarns. This is my bamboo sock base and my mohair silk base. And this is in the colourway Plum Pudding, which is one of my new Christmas colourways. And I've just got some gold beads, so we'll have a quick look there. Hopefully that's focusing all right for you. I think next week I'll bring the camera a little bit closer so that anything I hold up to it is lit by my ring light, which is above me, but it's not over near the camera, so I apologize for that. But yes, I finished this. It's got a lovely drape, as you can see, because of the bamboo, and also because the merino, not merino, there is no merino in this. My bamboo sock is BFL nylon, so yeah, because of the bamboo content and because of the silk content in these yarns, it has got a lovely sheen. I really don't know if it's coming up on the camera, but in real life you can see it. It's quite lovely. Now, it is a very hot day. It's supposed to be over 40 degrees today, which is over 104 degrees Fahrenheit, but I will put it on just so that you can see just very quickly, because I don't think I'm going to want to have mohair on for very long because it can get very warm. So yes, it's a lovely big cushy cowl. Lots of fabric to keep you very warm. I know Kristin does this, but she is tiny and I am not. I don't think I said, my Calan My Cowl is a pattern by Kristin Lehrer, who is Vine. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do what she does. She basically pulls it right over her shoulders to have it as like a little bit of a cape over the shoulders, but my shoulders are far bigger than hers, so I can't actually do that. But yes, it is a lovely squishy cowl, and I know for a fact that this is going to get a lot of use once the weather gets cold again. And I'm going to take it off for now. So what else is there to say? The pattern is, I've got mohair everywhere. The pattern was very simple. It was very intuitive. I memorized the entire 10-row pattern probably within 2 or 3 repeats. I just used my Nancy's Knickknacks, what's it called, row counter, the one that looks like a little stopwatch, just to keep track of my rows, because I did have to do some frogging because I, for some reason, was adding an extra round every repeat. So I basically was kind of up to the 5th repeat and I had to frog back to about the 2nd. Not that that really bothered me very much, because I was enjoying this knit incredibly, and it just meant that I got to knit it a little bit longer. So that is my Calan My Cowl. It is highly recommended. I enjoyed this a lot. So yes, and I really should have drug my my dress form, which is still in my lounge room, which is just through there, to show this one off, because I don't know how I'm going to fit it in the frame. It is my rose cardigan. I finished it. Yay! So let's just do it bit by bit. We've got sleeves, which goes into a body, which goes into more body and goes to another sleeve. So you will have all, if you've been watching me for any length of time, will have seen my original rose cardigan, which was mainly pinks in that one. And this one is my blue and black and grey one. So I absolutely love my rose cardigan. I lived in it this winter because it was so pretty. It was oversized, it was squishy, it was warm. I adored that cardigan. I wore it everywhere. And so I've got another one because I love that other one, my original rose cardigan, and I made all kind of one-of-a-kind colours except for the cuffs, which is my blushing rose colourway. Most of the rest of the colours I've only dyed once or twice, and they were dyed in, what's the word, in a baking tray, and I don't enjoy dyeing in a baking tray. I find my results are very hit and miss. I can't always replicate what I have made before. So although I do have the dye recipes written down for all the colorways in that cardigan, I don't actually really think that I'll ever be able to create them again. So my issue was, because I wore my other rose cardigan so much in this winter, I don't want to wear it out, pretty much is what my whole point is. I don't want to wear it out. I don't want it to get too much wear and tear on it and fall apart. So I've created a second one. I mean, I know I can always knit another one in different colors and things like that, but I adore my pink rose cardigan, and I really don't want it ever to go away. I want it to still be with me when I'm 95 years old and sitting in my nursing home still knitting. But yeah, so I've got this one here. Now these are mostly one-of-a-kind colorways. Oh, no, actually only one of them is one-of-a-kind. One of them is a bit of an oops. So this first one here is my colorway Starless, if I can remember. The second colorway here is my Fletcher colorway. And then this blue section is my Impressionist colorway. However, the blue didn't set in chunks like it should, so this should actually be quite speckled, but it is not, because I don't know what I did. I think I might have stirred it too quickly or something like that, and the colour hadn't set properly and it just bled all through the entire dye bath. So there is little speckles in there of pink and green, which are probably very hard to see. And then this one, I just called it Frost. It is not a repeatable colorway as far as I'm aware. Again, this was one that I dyed in, what's the word? Baking dish. I can't think of those words. Yeah, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to repeat that colorway. I possibly could in the pot. But yeah, the thing that was holding me up is this band here that is on the fronts, like the collar piece. That'll make more sense to everybody, because as you know, I don't like knitting scarves or anything that's long, and this was just basically a strip of fabric that you knit and then you seamed on. On the weekend, kind of got a bee in my bonnet, decided I wanted this finished, so I finished the second strip. And this time, thankfully, unlike the last time, I had to, the instructions tell you to knit the strip to a certain measurement for whatever size you're making, and then seam it on. And as you get towards the middle, you either knit more if your strip isn't long enough and then seam it on, or in my case, my strips were too long, so I had to just unravel them so that I could bind them off. Now this is just a 3-needle bind off. I can't remember, I didn't actually check the pattern. I initially tried to do this as a graft, like as Kitchener stitch, but because there's so many knits and purls in there and twisted knit stitches and things like that, I was like virtually tearing my hair out trying to get the grafting to match, to do the purl grafting, to do the knit grafting, and I just gave up in the end because I just couldn't be bothered, and it was late at night and I really wanted my cardigan finished, so I just did a 3-needle bind off, which is fine because I've made it to line up perfectly with the 3-needle bind off that was used to join the 2 back pieces. So yeah, as I've knit this pattern before, I knew what I was getting into. People ask me all the time if this is a hard pattern to knit, and it really isn't. It really is a very easy knit. Andrea gives you, did I say this is by Andrea Mowry? She gives you a spreadsheet that for every size. So you can go through and tick off each row as you complete them, so that the spreadsheet tells you where to swap yarn colours, tells you where to do your cable crosses, tells you where to do your increases, and that just makes it really, really easy. I think if you had to rely simply on the written directions, I think it would be a hell of a lot harder. But because there's this really handy dandy spreadsheet in there that you can just print out, because usually, as you probably know, I tend to use my PDF patterns on my iPad or my computer when I am knitting, and but in this case the spreadsheet, I actually printed it out and I physically ticked off each row as I went, And that is how this was so easy. It really is easy. The quadrants actually don't take a whole heap of time to knit. I think I probably knocked out 1.5 in a week's worth of knitting. This obviously got put down quite a bit through the year. I think I cast this on in March, I believe. I think I wanted it for last winter, but of course that didn't happen. We're now in December and it's only just been finished. Okay, little mishap. I forgot to charge my battery last night, so my battery died. So I took the opportunity to charge my battery and change the framing. So we'll see what happens now that I can put my hands very close to the camera. So hopefully now I can do a better job at showing you guys what I've been working on. So I'll get back to it. I have one more FO for today. It is not entirely finished, but it is finished enough for me to show you today. Bear with me, it's on the floor, I will just grab it. Right, so last week I showed you some weaving and that weaving is done. I have finished the scarf that I was working on out of, what was this? Cola Girl Collective Spirit in 3 of her colorways there. So the only thing that needs to be done really is for me to trim these tassels, I suppose you call them. I chose not to twist these ones. I'm going to keep them nice and fluffy. The length turned out okay. My one that I'm going to talk about in a minute, I've made a little bit longer. But yes, it works out okay. It is sort of long enough that you can wrap it around your neck. Let me just show you. So the way, like there's plenty of length to do something like that. So you can stand up and you can just see. So it's long enough that you can pop it on under your coat and just have the collar up and enough to cover your throat so that you're not getting cold. So I will hold this up. It is a silver sparkle base. And I've used 3 colorways here. I believe the dark blue that is in the weft is One Night in Paris. The lighter color that is in the weft is High Tea. And the one that's back and forth for my weft, did I say weft or warp? Those ones that are going up and down are warp. The ones that are going horizontal are weft. So my weft is Blue Jeans Work Boots. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with it. I think I'm going to probably give this to Simon's dad's partner for Christmas. She wears a lot of blue and bits of red, so I thought the pink and the blue in this would be great for her. So yeah, I'll be giving this to her next week when they come for Christmas Eve. So that is my woven scarf. And there was nothing special about the way I wove that. I just did a direct warp on my sample at loom and yeah, it just did backwards and forwards, no pickup sticks, no nothing fancy. It was literally just weaving backwards and forwards. So very, very simple and very quick. Okay, so my battery is only partially charged, so I'm probably going to whip through a little bit now that we've gotten to this point, but not that I have a lot more to do to talk about. I have 3 whips that I have been working on, 2 of them mostly monogamously, the other one's just in between doing sort of video edits and things like that, so I'll quickly get on to that one. It is a sock. You have seen this before. This is my intermission sock, which is another Circus Tonic handmade yarn that I got in her recent last update, I think, of her shop, because she's going to be moving to Adelaide. I think I've said all this before. She's moving to Adelaide, so she'll be local to me, and yeah, she made a colorway called Intermission, which I'm assuming refers to her hiatus. So it is, it's coming up blue kind of on my camera, my viewfinder anyway, that I can see, but it's actually more purple, so I'll see if I can color correct in post so that you can see that properly. But yes, it's actually a purple color. So this is only the first sock, and I'm probably halfway down the foot, I would say. So that, yeah, like I said, this is only sort of in between things, like if I'm editing videos and things like that and I just need to listen to what's being said, I knit on socks. So that'll probably get a little bit more work this afternoon as I edit this video. All right, the other two here, I'm trying to get them done. Yesterday in my Vlogmas, I mentioned that I wanted to get one or the other of these finished yesterday. I was unsuccessful. My first one I will show to you. Now, you might recognize this pile of yarn that I'm bringing out here. And of course, am I in the middle of a row? Oh, I'm binding off, so of course I'm in the middle of a row. But this is my Smock shawl, which is a pattern by Stephen West. And I have finished it apart from bind off. So I had the body, I believe, completed last week, and I had picked up and started on the border. So I finished the border now. I've got my little smocked pieces in, and I'm now doing the picot bind off, and there is 606 stitches. Oh, my silly needle's dragging on the floor. There is 606 stitches in this project, and I've just started. Can you see my needle? My needle is there. So I've just kind of started. I haven't even got through the first third of the shawl as yet. And for some reason, my pesky hand that likes to throw spanners in the works is starting to hurt. So I can only do little bits of this at a time, which is incredibly frustrating. And yeah, the struggle is real, guys. I said this on Instagram yesterday, the struggle is real. But I'll hold that up and you can have a look and see. So you can see those smock stitches there. They are kind of smocked stitches, because you don't actually do any kind of wrapping of the yarn around stitches. We kind of do, but you don't. And you can see there just the picot edges. So send me mojo, guys. I really need it, because I love this shawl. It is gorgeous. The colors are just amazing. This is Wool and Vine yarns, as I've said before, in 3 of her colorways. The first one is I Am No Bird, which is this section here. The middle section is Gashly Crumb, and the last colorway is Bronte. So yeah, I need all of the vibes, guys. I need all of the finishing vibes, the picot bind off edge vibes, so I can get this thing finished, because I love it. Not that I can wear it anytime soon, but I would love to get that yardage for this project onto my total for 2019. So please give me mojo, everybody, so I can try and get this done. It's just gorgeous, and I mean, I love it. I really do love it. But it is just a slog. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's just a slog. But the finished object is going to be gorgeous, and that is all I'm keeping in my brain, is the finished object and wearing it next winter. All right, finally, I have done some more weaving, which, as I always say, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen it. I'll just lean forward and grab it. I warped the loom again. So this pretty much was warped straight after the last scarf was finished. Whoop, there goes my heddle. All right, let's maybe not keep it at such an angle that the heddle falls out. Yes, this was warped pretty well straight after the last one was finished. I'm using 2 very different yarns, and they are working out really well together. So the warp that you can see here, it's kind of multicolored. That is some Lorna's Laces Soulmate, and that is one of their sock bases, and I believe it's merino nylon viscose. It's like a, what's it called? It's called Outlast, I believe it is. Apparently it's like a NASA fiber or something. It's supposed to be good for moisture wicking and keeping things cool, I think. So yeah, that is what my warp is out of, and it's all multicolored, and it's really pretty. It's kind of autumnal kind of colors. I think it's called Gold Hill or something, I think is the colorway. And the warp, the weft that I'm using is Dreaming Colour Smooshy in their Mild Tedium colorway. It is a 100% superwash merino. I don't know whether the camera is going to be picking this up properly, but it is like a tealy bluey green with some yellow speckles. I'm loving the way it is working with the warp. It is creating almost like a tartan look type of fabric. Yeah, like you can just see the colors of the warp poking through. So although you're mostly getting this bluey green sort of look to it when you look at the scarf, you know, when you look closely, you can see all of those little multicolored little bits of the warp through. And the other cool thing with this too is that even though both of these yarns are fingering weight yarns, they're both 4-ply yarn, they are very, very different thicknesses. And I'm assuming that's to do with the amount of sort of synthetic fiber that is in the Soulmate. Whereas the Smooshy is quite a puffy 100% merino. And yeah, the way that they are working together is just so, so nice. I'll see if I can really zoom in. And you can kind of see there how the warp is a lot finer than the weft. And yeah, it's creating a really cool looking fabric, and I really, really like this. I like this a lot. And I'm just really enjoying working on it. And I think I will have to save the leftovers of both of these yarns and use them together for another project, because yeah, I really, even though both of these colors on their own are really not my thing, but together I just love the fabric that they are creating. So I'm going to put my loom down now. Yeah, so I think I might need to do some sort of project on the loom again with this same effect for myself. Maybe I'll make some fabric. I've got a big errant string here. I'll make some fabric for myself and make a project bag or a notions pouch or something out of it for myself, because yeah, I really, really do enjoy the way they are working together. And that is it. That is all she wrote. Other than, you know, there's not even really much point having a bit of a blather talk, because everything is on Vlogmas. If you're interested in anything that I'm doing in my personal life, you can just watch Vlogmas. So I think I will leave it there. I am kind of playing with borrowed time, because I did do a partial charge on my battery. So my battery is probably not entirely charged. Which means it could die at any point. So I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, remember to leave them down below in the comments section. All of the show notes for the episode, links to my projects and things like that are down in the description. So that's all that good stuff is down there. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. And if you really enjoyed it and you're not subscribed already, please click that subscribe button and do the bell, do fillingy if that's your jam. No worries if not. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful time. I think possibly this might be my last podcast, because both of my boys will be home from Friday. So my housemate will be home for a couple of weeks, and Simon's going to be home for 3 weeks. So I could probably podcast with Simon around, but I'm not going to podcast with my housemate around. So it potentially is my last podcast. And because of that potentiality, I will say Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, whatever you choose to celebrate or even not celebrate. You know, everybody's different. That is what makes us all so wonderful. So if you do celebrate, I hope you have a wonderful time. I hope that you get lots to eat, lots to drink. Don't get too crazy on the old boozy. You remember what you'll feel like in the morning. That's what I keep doing to myself, is wondering how I'm going to feel in the morning if I have too much of the good drink. But anyway, that's Julianne's little do as I say. Definitely as I do these days. I'm getting far too old to deal with those hangovers. But yes, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful time. And if you have a break, please take some time just to relax. You know, we're not meant to be busy 24/7, and sometimes we really just have to take some time for ourselves to do nothing, and there is nothing wrong with that. So always remember that. If you need to take some time and you need to just relax and do nothing and do something just for yourself, please take that time, because you will definitely thank yourself for it later. So that being said, happy knitting, happy crafting. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful time. Please take care of yourselves if you are going anywhere, if you're out in the car, going on a trip, anything like that. Please take care of yourselves. I want to see all of you back here next year. If I don't see you before then, I mean, I'll be on Vlogmas, but if I don't come back for another podcast until next year, I want to see all of you here, all of you safe and sound. And yes, happy knitting, happy crafting, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.